first couple of years I made theater, it's an interesting history, because the first couple of years I made theater, I really was very rigorous about that. And I kid you not when I say that even when I first went to Paris and did my first show in Paris, same thing happened. Within 20 minutes, half the audience would walk out. My plays involved a few lines of dialogue, a loud thud, a little adjustment of people who didn't move very much, and mostly the actors delivering their lines, staring right at the audience, whatever it was, like, I hate you and I'm going to kill you. And the next person would say, don't kill me, I'm frightened. Then they'd go sit down. And they'd look at the audience. And that sort of was my style, because I wanted it was as if I felt the play was saying to the audience, look, here we are. What are you going to do with this? Yeah, normally you go and you escape into the play, you escape into the story. No, I'm here with a body. In those days, it was this was the late 60s, early 70s, and it was kind of shocking. I can't believe we really did it. A lot of times people would take off their clothes and say, I'm here. What do you do with this? What is it, what am I doing with this mechanism? So I did that for a couple of years. And people were working out. I became sort of notorious, and a lot of intellectuals of a certain type liked what I was doing, even though I was very crushed when some very famous artists who you would all know would walked out also, and I met them who later got to like my work very much. And I met them at a party later, and I said, I was really hurt. To Richard Serra, for instance, I was really hurt when you walked out on one of my early plays, and Richard Serra said, yeah, well, it was so abstract, Richard. Well, if you know anything about Richard Serra's work, that's a funny comment coming from Richard Serra. But anyway, then contingency, which rules everything, which artists have to be open to. Artists have to be open to whatever happens by accident and use it. Find out how to exploit it. I think it's 90 or 95% true that I make theater, I make art for myself. And then I offer it, say, does anybody else need this? I've never made anything worrying about or thinking about how the audience is going to react. I had a very big success when I was very young. Like the third thing I ever did fell into my lap, like all big things have fallen into my lap. I mean, I've never had an agent, anything like that. I did a big production of the Threepenny Opera at Lincoln Center in New York. It was a gigantic success, and I could have gone on doing things like that, Broadway shows and so forth. And I said, no, I have a moral obligation, since I can afford not to do only what I think must be done. So essentially, instead of going on and continuing to do 150 Quona shows, I said, no, I got to do 20 Quona shows from now on, and that freed me to, in my terms, tell the truth. And hopefully that, in general, frees me to tell the truth and do only what impulses hit me from unusual places. Now, the way I've looked at it all these years is that I think we are all fallen people, myself included. Anything I say about you or about people in general certainly includes my own fallible self. Now, we all live lives, and in order to live lives, in order to deal with our classmates, our teachers, the people we work for, we perform roles, and we identify with those roles. Oh, I am a banker. Oh, I am a student. Oh, I am a professor. And most theater, like most film, introduces us to the notion of another role. Wow, I'm a banker, but I'm going to see this latest movie, and wow, I can be an international spy, or I can be a great lover. I can, wow, I'm freed of my role, but I take on another role. Now, I've always been interested in trying to make a theater, trying to make art that cuts through the level of roles and gets to a sub-level, gets to a pre-role level, gets to what's really going on in this mechanism. What is the real potential of this mechanism if it does not get assigned one of the roles it usually gets assigned in life? stories hide the truth, because if you get involved in the story, if you get involved in seeing the intention of a character and waiting to see if that intention can be carried out, then you start missing all of the peripheral, all of the surrounding sensory things. Like in this room at this moment, my strongest experience is those curtains are drawn and there's light coming through that window. So when I look over here, I'm sort of blinded. I can hardly see you, you know. And I look out at you and I see only the light coming in from the side. And this is a very strong experience for me right now, right? And I don't want to get involved with a story and having a big argument with you. I mean, I will, if you want to have a big argument, I'll have a big argument. But if I get involved in having a big argument, then I forget that. Or I forget the way my feet feel on the carpet right now, and the way one leg is pulled back a little and the other leg is forward. All these other things that are going on in my body, in the environment, the little hum coming from the projector, those have to have equal weight. And that's the truth of our moment, at this moment, on this planet, as mechanisms that perceive, and stories hide that total truth.
That seems to be actually not abstract at all, but very concrete. Would you say that this
Absolutely.
abstraction that people perceive in it is because they have an expectation of a story or something, and then the method or the process would rather be to enhance the reality of every moment throughout the piece, as much as you can.
Exactly, it's super realism, and most people get involved with their life and their life project, and most people, I mean, look, we all do. We have to navigate life. We have to please our boss. We have to get through the traffic. We are navigating daily life. Navigating daily life does not interest me in art. And I don't see why it would interest anybody. Because we spend our lives doing that. Well, look, I understand why it does. But we spend our lives doing that. And art is the one occasion to be freed of the pressures of having to navigate all these situations of real life and bathe in what is really there.
Yes.
It can hit you in many different ways. That's what art should do, and rarely does, especially the entertainment industry, which dominates in the world we live in, art more and more and more and more. It's horrible. The theater is corrupt for many reasons. I think it is. I do not, I mean, most people think what's exciting about the theater is you have a group of people who are getting together, feeling the same emotion. I mean, that's the theater. It's very perverse that I'm in the theater, because I believe that's evil. I believe that's, Nuremberg rallies. Everybody gets together and feels the same thing. I feel that every individual member of my audience is much more interesting and alert and has an idiosyncratic response. And when you become a member of an audience, you are influenced by the group response, which I think is always of a lower quality than your individual response. And I'm subjected to it too. I have, one of my strange psychological anomalies is that in public, watching a movie, watching a play, for some reason, even when we're talking, I can laugh. We make jokes, and I laugh. When I'm watching a movie, a funny movie, Chaplin, for instance, I can see, oh, that's funny, but I feel no urge to laugh. Now, however, if I am there with a group of people, and Chaplin is doing something funny, and everybody in the audience is going, I can't stop myself from going, just because I'm swept by the group emotion passing through everybody and even passing a little bit through me. And I think that's, I won't say evil, but I think that's corrupt in a way, and I think that's one of the corruptions of the theater. And I've always said that I wanted to make a theater that isolates everybody, so they are dealing with their own reaction to, what do I deal with this? How do I deal with this? That's been my aim.